Um, Keenan, actually, if you could kick us back over to be the presenter, then we can do our little intro, which is very brief.
How do I do that?
Over where it says participants, I believe there should be a, where's my mouse again? Over, yeah, participants down at the bottom. If you click that panel, you should see our names pop up. And
I may have to do the stop share because on this little thing,
maybe.
I don't see it because I see
everyone in my office is on a diet, so I'm not allowed to bring anything.
Or maybe
One person.
okay,
I
so
know,
let
but
me
it sounds better if I see everyone. Well, Linda next door also on a diet, so.
let's see.
okay, so participants and then what, hit more?
I see myself.
It says Jason Bass is the host in my thing.
Okay, perfect. Well, then I will move out of the way. Darren.
Okay, hold on, let me get my share screen back together.
We are live, so go
Okay.
right ahead.
All right. Now, good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Atlanta South. Today is the first Wednesday of August. So as you know, we have 1 Million Cups here on the first Wednesday of each month for our Atlanta South chapter. And today we've got a couple really good speakers or presenters. But before we get into that, we'll start by thanking our sponsors, Highland Bakery, for their delicious baked goods that we have this morning. I'm looking over at the tray. We got some muffins and croissants. It looks like a chocolate chip croissant. Some other goodies over there, but they are down here and at the Avenues, and you can stop by for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they have live music occasionally on the patio. It's really nice. And then our other sponsor, because we couldn't do this without coffee, is Yellow Band Coffee. They're a local coffee roaster down here in the Peachtree City area, and they've got a really cool story. As a matter of fact, I think the owner is going to be presenting in the next couple months, but if you want to try some of their coffee, they have sample packs. You can order it online. They'll ship it to you, and they roast and ship immediately. So your coffee is always fresh. So we want to thank Yellow Band Coffee. Another announcement that we have finally is starting up again this month on Friday,
August 20th.
Friday, August 20th. Night markets. Yay. That's a great time. A bunch of vendors out there, live music, food trucks. It's free. So if you're down in this area, come join us. Usually there's about 3,000 people that attend this event. And it's a great night to be out and about and enjoy the evening. So thank goodness we've got night markets coming back. Gives us all something to do. But let's jump into it without further ado. We have Keenan with Truth or Error, and I will let Keenan explain exactly what he does.
Okay, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to present what we're doing. And so I'll just start the presentation for Truth or Error Education Blockchain Protocol. The problems, and this thing's gonna load slow on me today. Come on. The problems, the cost of education globally is trillions of dollars. The quality of education is often based on these costs and lack of technology, hindering the education of hundreds of millions of children globally. The effects of the problems. I'm sorry, this thing is loading this way. The cost of education globally is leading to undereducation, causing conflict, which is destabilizing governments, their economies, and impacting nations' security globally. Student debt in the US alone, 43 million adults carry college student debt totaling 1.5, 1.6 trillion. And the negative impact on the US economy is so strong that due to this debt, graduates are finding it harder to purchase homes. And this is negatively impacting the entire U.S. economy, the U.S. mortgage industry, which is impacting the broader U.S. economy. Our mission. Our mission is to democratize education and decentralize the cost of education. So what does that mean? We are providing students around the world with high-level educational questions on a vast variety of subjects from kindergarten through postgraduate courses, college courses, regardless of their income or geography. We are providing students, parents, teachers, professors, tutors, and anyone knowledgeable about any subject around the world with a way to monetize their knowledge by either creating content or correctly answering questions on our platform. Remote accessibility. There are over 1.5 billion students worldwide at any given time currently in college. COVID-19 has exposed a crisis as well as an opportunity in education globally. Our solution is a remote education blockchain technology platform that is designed to be accessed by any mobile device globally or computer. Remote education technology is rapidly being adopted by students worldwide and is projected to surpass 243 billion by 2022, which we all know is just at this point about 4 months away. The solution is our solution, according to Brian Brooks, who was the former top U.S. bank. He worked for the comptroller, and now he is the president. The CEO of Binance US. And he said at a Singapore fintech conference, he said, as people get more education, nations and cryptocurrency earning students and investors get richer together. And he said, I'm telling you, this should be the next Nobel Prize. It's a big idea. And he just said that in December of 2020. Our competitors, this is just a few of them. There are, of course, more. You have Kahoot with 1.3 billion downloads. You have Trivia Crack 2, Coursera, Quizlet, Khan Academy. Those would be in the e-tech or remote education or education space. And there are some of our competitors. Here's a little chart about how we stack up to them. In every category, we have the ability to pay users. We're the only ones that can do that. We have the ability to create any subject matter. We have the ability to do that. The ability to create long and detailed questions on any subject. I think we're the only one that can do that. And ability to create questions for certificates, business users, etc. Okay, our revenue sources and business model. We have video ads, static ads, and we have the opportunity to have a subscription-based service as well. We don't have it right now. Our app is live on iOS and Android, and it's currently free. And we also are going to have our cryptocurrency protocol tentatively right now called a Truth or Error coin or token. And the revenue generated from our cryptocurrency will depend on the amount of global users we have interacting with the app while gaining points and was converted to cryptocurrency, as well as the amount of investors we have purchased our cryptocurrency globally. Our competitive advantage for remote education as teachers, parents, professors, students, tutors create queries on various subjects, they will simultaneously earn points which are converted to our cryptocurrency. The more content created, the more cryptocurrency earned. And we also have more on this blockchain protocol that we're adding to it, so that there are a lot of things that are going to be going on in the background that will allow people to continually earn residual revenues. Content creators can create education queries on almost any subject and can create very detailed and lengthy queries that are suited for subjects such as law, biology, medicine, philosophy, history, whatever someone likes. As you learn, as students currently answer multiple choice and direct answer queries on various subjects, they will simultaneously earn points which convert into our cryptocurrency. Kindergarten through postgraduate coursework. Multiple choice queries can instantly be created for students ranging from kindergarten through postgraduate university courses and certifications. So we also have a kind of fun section that we call the universal queries, which is basically pop culture. It functions the same as the prior section. It's just anything dealing with pop culture. So you have music, movies, TV shows, anything in the pop culture space. Somebody can come on, and it's actually a separate category within the app. We right now we're calling the education side the university of queries, and we're calling the pop culture side the universal queries. So anybody that's a Comic-Con fan, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, any of those, anything like that, they can put on that side just for fun, but still also earn cryptocurrency as well. Our first year goals overview. We want to market the app globally to achieve 10 to 25,000 downloads before our ICO pre-sale to users globally. And we want to market the crowdfund for app and cryptocurrency users to users and investors globally. We want to develop truth-to-air blockchain protocols, which is the next step. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to develop our next version of the app. And then after that, we plan to begin to create and implement our blockchain protocols. And early app adopters and crowdfund investors will be awarded pre-sale ICO coins. Pre-sale ICO cryptocurrency will officially be announced and marketed to investors globally, and cross-market the app to users and pre-sale ICO to investors globally to achieve at least a 10-to-1 user to investor ratio. And then we want to reward the pre-ICO investors and early app adopters. And the ICO is officially released on the variety of exchanges. And in the minimum, we would like to have 25,000 to 100,000 app downloads, hopefully a lot more. The next screens will probably be our next iteration of what the app is going to look like. It's going to look significantly different than it does right now. We've changed the logo. This is the sign up screen. This is showing you, this is a screen giving you where you can create a query. This happens to be on the section for wild animals. It's allowing you to create a query. It shows you the buttons that you use to create a query. This particular one is a question, and it says move this out my way. I'm sorry, it changed on me. This is the screen for what we think our interface for someone holding their points in their cryptocurrency is going to look like. And this is an iteration of what our truth-to-air coin cryptocurrency protocol may look like. We probably would change that some, but that's just an iteration of it. Okay, the truth-to-air advantage, why we're different. The truth-to-air coin will be directly linked to the progress of our mobile app and vice versa. Due to this fact, our coin's price and market cap, unlike most cryptocurrencies, will be directly reflected by the progress of our mobile app. Conversely, the progress of our mobile app will be directly reflected by the value of our coin's price and market cap. This reality provides our mobile app and our coin a distinct marketing advantage over our competitors in both remote education technology, as well as the vast majority of the cryptocurrency. This marketing advantage gives us a decided edge in our marketing efforts, with the result of consistently increasing the value of our coin and the advertising revenue from the mobile app globally. Our marketing campaign will focus on 3 separate target audiences. Our marketing efforts will be designed to consistently increase educational users and content creators, the universal queries of pop culture, trivia, and users and content creators and cryptocurrency investors. Due to our cross-marketing strategy to constantly market our increase in downloads, users, amount of content, coin price, and market cap to these target audiences, our results should result in growing an ever-expanding user base and investor base. And I've got one last screen here. Thank you, and we welcome you to help us do great things. We welcome you to join us on this journey to change the world. Education is the major component of human society and advancement. We desire to disrupt and definance the lending industry's stranglehold on students' futures and foster equity of opportunity for millions of children around the world, regardless of the circumstances or the economies they were born in. Our world has many massive problems to solve, and it appears that time is of the essence. For each child is denied access to education, we are depriving humanity the potential for the solutions to climate change, the cures for our diseases, or the next great eco-friendly business enterprises employing millions and fighting poverty globally. Help us unburden generations of students so that they can spend their time, energy, and brilliance on solving these pressing problems. Help us unburden the eventual saviors of our planet, our societies, our bodies, our minds, and every living thing on the planet and institutions on the planet, both natural and man-made. We thank you for your time and consideration and we look forward to doing great things together to do greater things for our planet. And here are some of our members. We're adding to our membership. We're looking for to add to our advisory board, looking for mentors, and looking for people to join our board. And that is the end of my presentation. And I thank you for your time and attention.
Keenan, thank you. I want to let everybody know that Keenan was the most impressive presenter prior to this. Like, he messaged and emailed, asked for a phone number just in case of technology problems. He has experience with 1 million cups, I believe. I don't remember his application to see where else he's been accepted to present, but you presented a few times, right?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
So that is to say that when you apply to speak at 1 million cups, you're essentially asking for our community to give you feedback on many levels. And I think what you'll hear from some people will be presentation based, and the other feedback you'll get will just obviously be about the application itself and questions that they might have. So I don't necessarily need to be the one to kick it off, but I have a feeling that there's people who have comments. The peanut gallery in the back. I'll go.
All right, Keenan, I have a couple things. This is some feedback for you regarding your presentation.
Sure.
Don't read everything on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, you either need to change your slides and give the highlights, and then what you're reading should be somewhere in your own personal presenter notes. Because you're going to lose your audience that way. We can all read along with you, and that's not what you want us to do. You want us to be paying attention to your words and what you're presenting. Okay.
Gotcha. So
that should help you. And I know this is you know, you're working your way up to it and you want to get better, and that should help you out a lot. My first question regarding your product here is exactly, I'm trying to understand the clarity of it. You keep using the word cryptocurrency, and how is it that people earn this? Is it the students by answering questions, or is it by the people creating the questions, and each time somebody goes and answers one of their questions, they get some cryptocurrency? I'm not quite clear on that, how that works.
Yeah. So right now, how it works is a student or a content creator, every time they interact with the platform, a content creator, or we call them a curriculum creator, anytime they create content on the platform, they get points, and those points will be able to be converted into a cryptocurrency. Same thing for students. Anytime they answer a question or if they create content, they will get points, and it will be converted into a cryptocurrency. So that's essentially the mechanism and how it works.
And where will this cryptocurrency be traded?
It'll be traded on the various exchanges. Once you get a cryptocurrency, you start out on whatever exchange you can get on, and then you keep expanding from there. So of course, the more exchanges that you're on, the more access to someone has to purchase your cryptocurrency and go from there. So once we develop our cryptocurrency, the next thing is going to be which exchange or exchanges we want to launch on and build from there.
Quick thing, real quick, not a question. Can you stop sharing your screen so that your picture is larger?
Let me move this over.
I have a question.
That's great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is your goal to be in education, in entertainment, or a cryptocurrency provider?
The goal is to essentially have investors around the world subsidize and fund the education for millions of children around the world. So that's the primary mission. As an incentive, we have the cryptocurrency, of course, for students and content creators around the world. And also as an incentive, of course, we have for investors around the world. And then we have the entertainment side, just like, let's say somebody's studying for something and they have, been at it for hours, and they just want to take a break and take their mind off of it. Instead of picking up a video game or something like that, they can, play the the pop culture side, and go from there. But they also can be earning points and accumulating points on that side as well.
So, and I just want to ask just a couple of things just to kind of get on.
Sure.
So who is verifying the content, the questions that are being created in this curriculum?
You said, I'm sorry, what was the first part of the question?
Who is verifying the accuracy of the content of this curriculum?
Right now, it is peer driven. So it's a peer-to-peer platform. So if someone creates content, it is incumbent upon them to create accurate content, because if they don't, then their points can be taken away. So we have protocols within it where it's peer-to-peer. So for example, let's say that you created a query on whatever it might be. You were creating a multiple choice answer, and you meant to put B as the correct answer, but you accidentally hit A, and you didn't catch it, before you posted it or whatnot. And then, someone, Darren, answers it, and Darren says, I know the answer is B, and no, it's not A. Then it's a way for them to let you know that you made that mistake, and the points are deducted from you, given to Darren and whatnot. Now, if you don't do that, then Darren can report it to us, and then we can take care of it. And then eventually, of course, we will need to be implementing AI to kind of monitor those things as well.
So I think one of my challenges is that the initial presentation was wanting to educate children. And I see that you've got a JD, you've got a degree in economics. This is a trivia based, so there's not really a curriculum set for it. This is really, kids going through and answering questions. And with there not being, quality control, other than being peer driven, so it's more like Wikipedia, with a smaller, with a smaller base for control, are these kids really getting the quality education? And then also, looking at too, if the goal is for kids to be able to get ahead, if I am looking at, I do, look at candidates, that are coming in, am I going to hire somebody that didn't go through a traditional education path that did your program?
This is not to supplant traditional education. This is to be an addition to traditional education. And to give you an example, when I finished law school, we had to study for the bar. And so we had, this course called Barbering, and they gave us this, these books or whatnot that we paid ridiculous amounts of money for. And it was just rote learning as far as studying for the multi-state, which was at the time, I don't know what it is now, but it was 200 multiple choice questions coming from various aspects of the law. So you really didn't know, what you were going to get. And I think the books that we had like over 2,000 multiple choice questions. So if I would have had this back in law school, I could have used this for that. So it's a way for students to test what they know. It's a way for teachers to test what their students know, because one thing we want to do is also add in AI and database data analysis, so that they can look and see what their students are grasping and what they're not grasping, so they can spend more time on the stuff that they're not grasping. So that's another thing that we want to do in the future. But it's not meant to supplant education. It's an addition to education. Like there are many things out here that are helping kids as an aside, and this is one of them. And it's just, we want the ease and the ease of use for it to be on a mobile device. And when you look at it from the world picture, it's giving kids queries queries and information that they do not or may not have access to otherwise. So, for them, it may be part of their main education. For kids here in the United States or Canada, Europe, some other countries, of course, it may be it's just an addition or whatnot to help them retain the information that they have. And also what we found is that students that create content, they remember that content better than just the typical Socratic method of just traditional question and answer.
So how, and I guess I think maybe what some of the hints were was that with having so many goals, it seems like maybe that makes it more difficult. So, because it is a little confusing. So how does this monetize for you
It monetizes
and
for
your
us.
investors?
It monetizes for us through the ads and through the cryptocurrency. So once we create our cryptocurrency, we'll have coins that of course we hold or whatnot that we will be able to release on the exchanges at times to receive funds. And also probably before that, we'll have the ad space and ad revenue coming in.
So I feel like this, when I was listening to it at first, I was thinking that a teacher could essentially, and it sounds like they could, use this platform to create a quiz and send everybody to it. But then I started thinking about the cryptocurrency piece and how I would think most school systems would have a problem with a teacher profiting off of a system and then kids making money off of, because that's, I mean, it's trivia, so technically gambling in a way, I guess. But then Laura's question about the accuracy of the questions, it makes me nervous that the answers, if it wasn't the teacher who did it and it wasn't verified, it makes me nervous that they could be learning misinformation. But as a platform for trivia, at the very least, as a fun game to open up with the understanding that the content that's in there is not verified, I mean, I think it could be quite fun. And to add the cryptocurrency piece to it, I'll be the first to admit, I'm very confused about cryptocurrency. I read about it every day and I still don't really understand it. So all the exchanges and how you get there and ICOs, I mean, these are all things that I've read about. My brain is not grasping it yet. So to me, I just think that they're, it's earning points, and who doesn't want to earn points for doing things, right? So I don't know. I mean, I do think it sounds really fun. I am curious to know, as an app developer myself, like what kind of funding you've already put in and where you are currently and how quickly you want to get to the next phase. I mean, you showed us designs, but where are you in that whole process?
Well, the app is live on iOS and Android now, so someone can download it and use it and interface with it. The thing about business, if you kind of learn this the hard way unless somebody tells you, is that you can have a budget to build it, but you need to have a budget to market it as well. So that's where we are now, trying to get things marketed, so that we can build more users or whatnot. To kind of answer some of your questions, actually, I spoke with a guy that was a marketing expert for a large corporation some time ago, and he said, I don't even think you need, the cryptocurrency. I think just the dopamine effect alone of people earning points, there would be a driver enough for people to use it. And what we're going to do as far as the schools, we're going to screen out and wall off, when teachers and schools create queries or create their own sections. For example, if you have Mr. and Mrs. Wallingford's fourth grade math class or whatnot at Pinecone Elementary, they can create that that subcategory within the platform, and that'll be separate and apart from the cryptocurrency piece. And you're absolutely right. Mr. and Mrs. Wallingford could create queries for their students to go and answer as well, or parents can do it, or PTAs can get together and create their own sections as well. So that is something that can be done, and we'll have to wall that off and keep that separate. The cryptocurrency piece is more so for college students, maybe some high school students, but it's more so for college students or parents who are creating what we envision. We're using our blockchain protocol is when someone creates an account, they will be assigned a blockchain node, and that blockchain node will follow them through their entire transactions and interactions on the platform for that week, for that month, for those years that they're on the platform. That node will follow them from a security standpoint, from the data that they're entering, that they're interacting with, and they'll be getting rewards or accumulating points, and therefore cryptocurrency, on that. And what we're also envisioning is that, let's say if someone created a query, and we have it where someone can share that query, we also have it where someone can challenge someone with that query. Anytime someone shares your query, you're going to get residual credit for that, and residual points for that, and therefore residual cryptocurrency for that. And all of that is we're thinking is going to be handled through the blockchain protocol. We can do it without that, but because blockchain is so more secure and it locks information, it's a store of information, we think that that's a good technology to use it for.
I have a degree in education, and I obsess over good test questions. There's another way to hunt down bad questions, to what Laura was saying, especially when you have a lot of users. If you run as I recall, I think it's called an item discrimination analysis. If you run a correlation between the people who get a lot of questions right and the questions that they miss, the people who do really, really well are all missing the same questions, that's a really good indication to you that that's a bad question, that it needs to be evaluated. And it could be just a simple thing as the question is ambiguous, or the question doesn't make sense, or the question is outright wrong, or it's just an A versus B kind of thing that you were talking about earlier. That's another way to hunt down bad questions in a large bank of questions that a lot of people are seeing.
Yeah, and over time, we also want to give it where people can rate people's questions, and also we'll be on the back end being able to track, what questions are getting answered the most, and we want to promote those and put those to the front. So we'll have the metrics in place over time, and with the resources to do exactly what you're saying, to be able to vet which questions are getting the most traction, which questions are people are responding to, whether they're getting them wrong or right. And then of course we'll reward people for taking the time to rate questions on probably a scale from 1 to 5 or something like that as well. So we'll keep track of all of those metrics to help us vet various questions in various subcategories, and keep out or kick out questions that do seem to be very dubious and ambiguous as far as people just don't know what it's not a real written question, which you run across, of course. And so what we find, and this is for I think any content driven platform, most people are content interfacers. They deal with content. The vast majority of people don't create content on Facebook, whatnot. Most people sit there and look, and they may make a comment, but then your people that are dedicated to creating content, like you're an educator, so if you have it within you to create content on a platform, because you're an educator, first of all, you're going to be knowledgeable about what you're asking a question about, and you're going to know how to ask that question. So over time, you're going to be rewarded for that. And then there are going to be people that have various degrees and skill levels that are going to be better at that than others. And we'll be able to parse that out with especially incorporate AI.
I don't know if you saw recently, so I'm a math nerd. And recently they had one of those quizzes, like, what's the right answer? And it had order of operations. And the correct answer was not one of the answers on there, because apparently nobody remembers pandas. So, yeah, right. And I was like, did I, have I lost my mind? But it did come out, that it was the correct answer was not on there. And people are like, whatever, it's close enough, blame Common Core. But no, like mathematicians came out and said, no, it was incorrect. Like you have to follow the order for parentheses. And so, or no, I think it was multiplication. Anyway, so it was incorrect. So, I mean, but that is the problem, is that people, people create content that's wrong. So I think that's, that's, for me, that's going to be, your biggest challenge if you're
Yeah.
having users create the content for education instead of having like qualified educators creating, like if your goal is to educate kids and you're having random users do it, I think, without having set quality control reviewing, I think that's good. For me, that's going to be your biggest challenge and pushback.
Yeah, it is, and that is for now. Like as we get rolling and we can market more to educators and get them to put content on, graduate assistants, tutors, professors, and the like or whatnot, then we're going to get better questions. This is just a starting out point because it's going to take time and money to get those people to interface with the platform. So for now, anybody can create the content, but because it's peer-to-peer driven, the peers will also play a role in letting people know this is not a good question, or and challenge someone that this question is not a correct question. Like for example, when you create a query, you get to put how long a person gets to answer it. It could be 30 seconds, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes if you want to. Of course, and the only thing someone creating content is worried about if someone has the time to Google an answer and look it up. Some things are Googleable or searchable, some things are not. You could set it for 2 hours and someone, they either know the answer or they don't. So you get to look at that and see if someone being fair, because we don't want someone to write a whole 3-paragraph question and then only give someone 30 seconds to answer it. So that person, they would flag us and say, hey, this person it took me 25 seconds to read, the question, and I didn't even get a chance to get to the answers. So we want to create things like that where people can contact us, and our staff and us, and we regulate things like that. And because we have a point system and it's linked to the cryptocurrency, and you would have your point stripped away if someone was doing that, especially if they're truly violating the terms of service, then we're hoping that's going to be a big enough deterrent. Because if someone has, a couple hundred or even more, if they have, thousands of dollars on the platform, they're not going to risk losing it, by doing, silly things or whatnot.
Can people immediately, it sounds like you're going to try and get on the exchanges. Can people immediately cash out of their coins after they earn them?
We're still deciding that. We're looking at some other methods that other coins are using, like what some other coins are saying. If you hold your coins for a specific amount of time, it might be 6 months, it might be a year, then you'll be rewarded for that. If you sell prior to that, then there's like a penalty. It might be 10%, 20%, and then that's what this particular coin was doing. That's redistributed amongst the other users on the platform. That penalty is redistributed. So it's mechanics that we can use and we can play with to try to get people to hold on to their coins or whatnot, to their cryptocurrency for some time. And also we can have it where you have your coins in there and they're accumulating, but you don't have access to them yet until we release them and we're on the exchanges and we're on the amount of exchange that we want to be as well. But you're not losing anything. It's just sitting there accumulating for you. And then once we release, then you can do whatever you like to do with it from there. So there are mechanics that definitely have to be worked out with that. And those are some of the considerations that we thought. We're looking at what other coins are doing around it, other blockchain protocols around that.
Now I got it. It's about the presentation.
Yes.
At the beginning, we were talking about the problem, and you have things like how education is affecting destabilization in countries, how it affects even the mortgage industry and all that. And that's a big, huge, large scale problems. And then the app. And it's hard for me to connect those dots because it's a smaller thing trying to solve. And maybe you need kind of a more specific problems that this app is going to solve. Because mentally, it makes it hard for me to make that leap between the two. And then something Jason alluded to earlier, there needs to be something in there that educates me about cryptocurrency. Because if I don't get that, I'm kind of lost as to the rest of it, because that's half of what of the product and the infrastructure you have. So if you don't educate somebody, because like a lot of people may not ask just because they don't want to seem stupid and just kind of pretend they know, and it didn't really have the presentation, didn't have that impact. So it needs to be some sort of at least dumbed down kind of common person idea of what this cryptocurrency is and what it does and how it all works.
Yeah, and you're right. I'm trying to fit what I can within like 6 to 7 minutes.
Right.
And so, but what I typically do, and I forgot to do this, is that if anyone has any other questions, feel free to email us at truthorairapp@gmail.com. Feel free to email us, or if you have any ideas, any resources, like the gentleman was telling me, the guy the gentleman that he's in education, he was telling me about, I guess the official name of the protocol that he's familiar with. So if anybody has any ideas or any suggestions, please feel free to email or questions, and I'll be glad to answer them. Because of course, I invite people to play devil's advocate, because everybody thinks their baby is the prettiest or whatnot. But I invite people to play devil's advocate to force me and us to work through these problems and these issues that definitely invariably are going to come up, that we're going to have to solve either now or at some point in the future. So we might as well start thinking about it now and see if there are any holes, and truly big holes, in our thinking process that we need to close at this point now, if we can.
Anybody else? We did have somebody watching on Facebook Live who just commented that she's excited about going back to the beginning to watch this in full, because she joined a little bit later. So I hope that you'll also revisit that feed. You can, of course, we'll send you the link. You can, of course, watch the video for your own reference and answer any questions that might pop up in the future. I'm really sorry for all of the other viewers, people here, that the other presenter didn't show, but such is life, it happens. So I don't know, we already talked about night market. Are there any other community announcements that anybody wants to make? No, the South Atlanta Business Association is meeting back in person for the first time in however long it's been, next Thursday, right here at Launch and Go, 11:30 to 1. Jeff Bartholomew has a really great speaker lined up. I'm excited about that one. Anything else? All right, well then, with that, Keenan, we'll thank you one more time, and we'll go ahead and end today's meeting. And I look forward to seeing everybody on the first Wednesday of September.
All right, thank you. If you can, let the person on Facebook, let them know if they have any questions, feel free to email me.
You want to say that email one more time again?
It's truth, TRUTHORERRAPP@gmail.com. So truthorairapp@gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Take care.
Thank you. You too.